Farming is hard work. Now, modern high-tech equipment can help make the job a little easier, but it's still hard work. For some crops, though, there's just no technology available to take the place of getting your hands dirty. A good example of that is growing sweet potatoes. Cotton pickers make harvesting easier and are far more efficient than hand picking. The same is true for combines when it comes time to gather the corn or soybean crop. But from planting to harvest to shipping to retailers, sweet potatoes mean one thing: work.
It's very labor intensive because we start at the end of January where we bed our sweet potatoes, what we call bedding, where we get our plants to go to the production fields. And then in April we'll plant the potatoes. It takes 16 people per 8-row planter. Then we grow them till August, and we start picking them up. And then we also ship out year-round, and that takes labor at the packing house too.
Despite years of trying, Joel says he's been unable to find local people to do this work, so he hires migrant workers through the government's H-2A program.
Of course, if it wasn't for these people here, we wouldn't be in the sweet potato business, because they pick up anywhere from 300 to 540-pound buckets. They get paid by the bucket, so the harder they work, the more the money they make, and it's just worked out good for us.
Although many of these workers come from poor countries, having them work here is not cheap. And like any government program, H-2A is filled with red tape.
Not only is there a wage rate that they have to pay called the adverse effect wage rate, which in Alabama at this time is $11.71, which is well over minimum wage. They also have to pay for transport to and from their home country. They have to pay for housing. They have to pay for transportation while they're here to go get groceries and those things. And so while we depend on that labor, the farmers that use it, they are paying a price, but most of the time it's because they just can't get workers in their local area to come and do the hard work that is involved in the fruit and vegetable industry.
Once the potatoes are picked up, they're taken back to the packing shed where they're washed, sorted, and stored.
They're cured for a couple, 3 weeks, which brings the sugar out in the potato, and then we'll put them in the cooler. Then my brother, he takes care of the packing in, and then as the orders come in, we'll start packing. And we pack year-round, so we have to have potatoes from the start to the finish.
Joel and his brother James are two of about a half-dozen farmers growing sweet potatoes in Baldwin County. They produce about 650 acres, along with peanuts, cotton, and lettuce near Daphne.
We produce around 3,000 acres of sweet potatoes, generally in 2 geographic areas, down in Baldwin County, and then there's a large number of producers up in Cullman County. State average is about 35 million pounds of sweet potatoes that we're growing here every year. While we don't grow as many sweet potatoes here in Alabama as some of the other southeastern states do, we have some of the best, most hardworking farmers that are producing the best sweet potatoes in the country.
Here to talk more about Alabama-grown products today is Ellie Watson with Sweet Grown Alabama. Ellie, we appreciate you being with us.
Thank y'all for having me.
So if I didn't know Joel Sirmon personally and I wanted to find some Alabama-grown sweet potatoes, how would I go about doing that?
The exciting thing, Kevin, is that we have a new resource to the state of Alabama called Sweet Grown Alabama, where consumers can search for locally grown products in their neighborhood, either by zip code or by product, just by visiting sweetgrownalabama.org.
That is a very exciting thing for our state. So tell me, how long has Sweet Grown Alabama been around and how did it get started?
The beauty of Sweet Grown Alabama, Mary, is that this was a meeting of agricultural industry minds. Our industry came together to provide this service for both consumers and farmers in 2019, and we have been able to provide this opportunity for our farmers for about 2 years now.
Obviously, doing the story that we showed a minute ago with Joel Sirmon, we've been talking a lot about sweet potatoes, but what other Alabama-grown products can we find at Sweet Grown Alabama?
So consumers always think about local produce when they think about local products, and Alabama has a huge array of produce, both fruit and vegetable diversity. But we're also known for things like pecans and catfish and poultry products and beef and chicken and pork and container plants. We have such a diverse agriculture economy, and Sweet Grown Alabama is proud to represent every commodity grown here in our state.
That is a lot. You can make a lot of great food from all of those products. So why is it important for our viewers to support local?
There are several reasons, and I think the most important is that you get to support Alabama's economy when you support local. Studies show us that 60 cents of every single dollar spent locally remain in the local community. So those farmers and businesses get to hire individuals who send their kids to local dance lessons and buy cars and buy homes in your community and support the hardware store and the local football team. It has a ripple effect on the entire fabric of the state of Alabama when you support local. And not to mention, you're getting a product that is fresher, it's a better quality, and it just is a downright better product when it's grown right here in our state.
And if you want to get Alabama grown products, all you have to do is remember the name of the program.
Absolutely, sweetgrownalabama.org, and you'll be able to connect with a farmer or a grocery store, a market or a restaurant that is sourcing local in your neighborhood.
Ellie Watson, thanks so much for being with us today and talking to us about Sweet Grown Alabama.
Thank you.
Stacy Little's up next when Simply Southern continues.
Everybody loves spaghetti, especially when it comes with a good beefy sauce. And Stacy has a way to make your sauce even better by letting your slow cooker do the work for you.
There's nothing quite like sitting down to a home-cooked meal with fresh vegetables from the garden. With Bonnie plants from your local quality co-op store, you can enjoy the freshest vegetables right from your own backyard. And no matter if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, your quality co-op store has exactly what you need to get the most out of your plants. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
When I first got started in my career, I always imagined a place of my own place to fish, a place to explore, make a new path, and share with others. This is my dream come true with the help of Alabama Farm Credit. Alabama Farm Credit, together we grow.
For more Simply Southern, follow us on social media. And while you're online, visit our website, simplysouthern.tv.net. Simply Southern continues in a moment.
Sweet Grown Alabama is such an amazing brand. It'll be great for consumers to be able to connect immediately with an Alabama grown or made product.
Sweet Grown Alabama, what it means to us is community. By buying Sweet Grown Alabama, you are able to support your community and kind of play your part and help the farmers.
There's a huge advantage just to your local community by buying local, whether it's local farms or local businesses.
Find Sweet Grown Alabama farms, markets, restaurants, and stores near you at sweetgrownalabama.org.